Hi everybody! Welcome to A Case of the Jills. It's Friday. Well, it's Thursday, but by the time you see this, it will be Friday. And I don't know about you, but for some reason, it's been a really heavy week. I don't know if there's something in the air or like what's going on, but I have felt really mentally kind of like, ugh. So it got me thinking. Despite the fact that this was kind of a challenging week for me, and a few different things happened that kind of threw me off emotionally, or maybe my stress level was a little high, the thing that I was thinking about when I was walking yesterday was, oh my God, my ability to handle this stuff is so different than it used to be. In fact, before recovery, you might say that I was a little bit challenged with regard to how I handled stress. Kind of joking about it now, but it really wasn't funny. You're gonna hear me talk a lot about feeling anxiety. And I don't want to detract from those of you who do suffer from actual clinical anxiety or diagnosed anxiety disorder. I'm being more colloquial with the way that I'm using the word anxiety, and I hope that doesn't offend anyone. I'm also going to use the word stress. I'm going to use the word pressure. I'm going to use the word anguish. Oh yes, and I'm going to use the word bitch. So welcome to the video today. Before I went through recovery, how do I describe this? I always felt very, very pressured. I always felt a huge amount of stress. I felt very much like I was carrying around a very heavy weight all the time. I wrote about this once on Instagram probably over a year ago, and I talked about the sensation of having an anvil on my head, and that's really what I felt like. It was a combination definitely of the internal pressure that I was putting on myself to achieve all of these things, whether it was in my sport, in my life, just on a day-to-day basis, on everything. It's like I had no off switch. I had no ability to be moderate with anything. Everything had to be perfect. Everything had to be scheduled precisely. Everything had to be completely dialed, or I kind of fell to pieces. I carried this weight with me in everything that I did, everywhere I went, everyone that I spoke to. It really affected all aspects of my life. What was I worried about? I can tell you, I was doing math in my head all day long about the mileage I had run that day, or how many miles I needed to run over the weekend, or where I was going to be running that weekend and what I had to plan in order to make that happen. I was never a calorie counter, so I can't tell you that I was counting calories, but I was assessing my diet all day long and saying, did I eat enough of this? I probably shouldn't be eating that, or maybe I need to go to the grocery store because I ran out of this. And it was just, obsession after obsession after obsession, and it was exhausting. You know that phrase, nervous as a cat? I mean, that was me. I was almost skittish in some senses. Oh, she heard me mention cat, and guess who showed up? You know that phrase, has no chill? That was me. I basically had zero chill. On top of this, I was afraid to have chill. I was afraid to back off from that level of pressure that I was placing on myself. And that was the biggest problem. I was under the impression that the pressure and the stress was helping me become more successful. What I didn't realize is that that pressure wasn't making me successful. It was making me fearful that I would never be successful. That fear is not accomplishment, but I didn't know that yet. You know why? I'm gonna really oversimplify it here, so forgive me, but honestly, I needed food. My brain and my heart and my mind was hungry, starving. Even if I didn't feel hungry and didn't feel that I was restricting, I was starving. When I started to eat properly, the anxiety dissipated almost immediately. That fear that I had been carrying around, that pressure of you're never going to be good enough, this isn't going to work, it's not going to be right, yeah, gone. I could actually hear my intuition for once, and not this drumbeat in my head telling me what to do all day long. Of course, this was a process. It didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. So let's get back to me being a bitch. That's a lot more fun. This is in no particular order, by the way. But the first way in which I am no longer a bitch is that I can actually enjoy a yoga class. I'm going to paint a picture of myself before recovery in a yoga class. So there's this girl, you walk in and you see her, and she's sitting on her mat, okay, poised. She's ready. She's sitting up, she's not laying back, because that would be relaxing. And we don't relax. That's not what we do. We're the girl adding extra chaturangas in, when the class is kind of slowing down. This kind of girl, let's see, she likes yoga classes where there might be some counting involved. Oh, and Shavasana? No, we don't stay through Shavasana. What's the point of that anyway? I can lay on the floor at home. During a yoga class, it was just like chatter, chatter, chatter in my head the whole time. Honestly, if a class got too slow for me, I really would be in my head like cursing the teacher. I would storm out of a class sometimes if I thought that it wasn't giving me what I needed that day. What kind of a person leaves before Shavasana? Those are the kind of people that knock frosting off of birthday cakes. What is wrong with you? Now before class, I am supine. If things get too difficult or I just don't feel like doing a pose, I may go right into child's pose. In side plank, I may put a knee down. I used to go to yoga because I wanted to work out, and now I go to yoga because I'm trying to avoid a workout. I'm just trying to get closer to me. Number 2, I have less road rage. But no, I couldn't have normal road rage. Nope, that would be too easy. I had this weird thing where like I would get so upset at people while I was driving, but I would never say anything. I wouldn't yell, I wouldn't swear, I wouldn't honk my horn, I wouldn't curse, I wouldn't throw the middle finger, nothing. I would just sit there and fume. See all these veins on my neck? How do you think I got those? I mean, where am I trying to go? This is Rhode Island. Literally everything is 20 minutes away. In fact, if you go too fast, you're gonna end up in the ocean. No one threw up the bat signal, girl. Slow down. Now I just don't really care. I leave on time to get to things and I do not stress over it. It's just like, there's ebbs and flows, man, even in traffic. We just kinda gotta go with it. Number 3 way that I am no longer a mega bitch is that I am no longer the food police. I'm pretty sure that my parents had a magical cabinet in their kitchen where like on the front side would be all of the foods that were approved by Miss Bitch. And then you would like, you know, roll out a box of quinoa and the whole thing would spin around and it would be just non-stop chips. I actually used to go over to my parents' house and I would like open up the cabinet and I would stand there and I would judge every single item that I felt was bad. I'm not kidding you. This is how horrible I was. I would be like, who needs to eat this? Nobody ever wanted to eat anything in front of me. Do you know how crappy that is? Seriously? That people don't want to show me when they're eating something because they think I'm gonna judge them? Ugh. And you know what? My mom still does it sometimes. When I go to her house, she'll like look at me if I happen to see something on the counter that is not like total perfect health food. I've pretty much had to reprogram her now. I'm like, Mom, can you do me a favor? Can you just ignore everything I've told you for the last like 20 years? Yeah, that would be great. My philosophy now with everyone is if it looks good, eat it. Okay, that brings me to number 4. The 4th way that I am no longer a bitch, I think I'm a better daughter. So you guys have heard me talk before about how I owned a business. Some of you may know, but some of you may not know that that business was a bakery. My employee number 1 was my mom. She got up and came with me to the bakery early in the morning and hustled out cupcakes all day long and brownies and cookies and whatever the heck else it was that I was making. She worked tirelessly. She absolutely went above and beyond. She absolutely knocked it out of the park. She was there for me every second of the day. She was there for me when I was afraid, when I was nervous, when I was happy, when I was sad. All during the time that I owned the business, I was still training for ultra marathon. And unlike Devin Yanko, I just couldn't do both at the same time. On those days where I felt a lot of pressure from training and also from the business, I was really terrible. And sometimes I think of those times with my mom. Sorry. I was pretty hard on her. I really was. And she doesn't know that. A lot of times I think about it and I feel really bad. My mom's amazing and I'm sure she doesn't fault me for it, and I know she doesn't think about it now. We have a good relationship. We have an amazing relationship. She's my first text every morning. She's there for me every minute still. But you know what? I wasn't very nice. I wasn't nice. And I'm sorry. Okay. See? Hormones. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, the number 5 way in which I am no longer a bitch, believe it or not, I'm so much more fun. I'm serious. I am much more spontaneous. I say yes to invitations that I wouldn't even dream of accepting years ago. I never used to want to go out at night. Do you know how terrible that is? And now I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to go out because guess what? I don't have to get up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock and hit the road running. I am so much more relaxed than I used to be. My default used to be, I am relaxed. What are you talking about? Don't I look relaxed to you? But I'm so much more flexible now. I don't freak out when plans change. I don't freak out when something new happens. I used to be as flexible before as like ice in the winter in Siberia. I can make fun of myself. Man, I used to take everything so seriously. I considered everything to be a personal attack. I am much more confident, and confident people are fun because you know why? They don't give a shit. It's liberating. So yes, there's my 5 ways that I am no longer a bitch. I am no longer carrying the fears of my pre-recovery life, and I'm happy to see them go. It may be hard for you to think that all those things that you're hanging on to so tightly are actually hurting you, but take a look at your life and see if those things that you're hanging on to so tightly are not allowing you to let go and fully embrace all the things you might be missing. Today was a big day. Today I hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, and I know it's a tiny little number, but it means a lot to me. It's almost the end of July, and I only have another month to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. But if you liked this video, would you please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel? I would really love it. Hey, thanks for following me on Instagram. All right, well, this video was kind of a roller coaster, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you have an incredible weekend, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.